Welcome into our special edition of Jets Game Day presented by Audi. I'm Caroline Hendershot alongside Quincy and Nunwa. Q, how's it going? Usually I've got Eric Allen and Bart Scott next to me. I got a new guest.
Yeah, the big dog is here. No, I'm just playing. Shout out to Bart and EA. I'm happy to be here today. You know, I think I'm a pretty good replacement for
I'm gonna tell them both that you're the big dog and that they're not.
No,
I don't
Bart's
think that's
gonna
gonna
say
go
something. I know
over
he will.
well. All right, well, the Jets were shipping up to Boston for Week 11 matchup against the Patriots, who are atop the AFC East Thursday night. So let's get out of the tunnel and look at these highlights from the game. First things first, in the first quarter, it started out on that first drive with Justin Fields getting a rushing touchdown, 14 plays, 72 yards, and he runs the ball in. The Jets went up 7-0. We go to the second quarter, and we see why Travion Henderson was so dominant of these last two games. Not one touchdown, but two on back-to-back possessions for the Pats. They end up leading 14-7 going into the half. Now, third quarter, it happens to be Henderson again for the touchdown. He makes it 21-7, but with 3:10 left, John Mechie gets his first touchdown as a Jet and brings the score within one touchdown. But it's the fourth quarter where the Patriots make two field goals. They end up winning the game 27-14. So Q, when you watched this whole game start to finish, what was the turning point in your eyes?
Yeah, so honestly, I think the turning point, when I first thought about it, I thought maybe it was that second drive. You know, you start really fast. You think going into that second drive, if you really put more points on the board, you can kind of change the course of the game. That was probably the first turning point of the game, but I think the ultimate turning point was that fumble, right? You get an opportunity to drive down the field, put some points on the board, and maybe be able to come back and win this game against the Patriots offense that wasn't very explosive anymore. You get this fumble here, you give them a chance to get the ball, they kick three points, and now the game just kind of gets out of reach. You don't have enough time. It was about 7:34 left on the clock at this time. When the Jets got the ball again, they drove down the field and ended up getting no points in the red zone. So just kind of killed all the momentum they had for the potential to win the game.
What did you notice about some of the smaller details of this game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that they were not very focused on the small details. You know, I think one thing we've noticed in the last couple of weeks is that they haven't had a lot of penalties. You know, this week, I think the very first penalty they had was very tic-tac. I don't really care for that one on Brownlee. But overall, from then on, they just continued to get more penalties, and it just started to increase the distance they had against a very good team. You've got to play discipline against great teams. This is a team that's going to make you beat yourself. That's kind of the Patriots' identity. It's been that way since Belichick, and it looks like now they're doing the same thing with Vrabel. You got to go out there. You've got to win this game by doing everything correctly, because the minute you make a mistake, that's when they take advantage.
Leading up to this game, we heard Ryan Fitzpatrick say essentially that exact sentiment of the Patriots will make you beat yourself because they don't make any mistakes. So it's those little details that end up adding up. And then, of course, snowballing further from that. All right, let's now hear from Eric Allen and his thoughts after the game.
Caroline and Quincy, the Jets were game tonight. Aaron Glenn said they were going to be up to fight, and they fought all night long. Beautifully orchestrated opening drive, culminated with the touchdown run by Justin Fields. Unfortunately, offensively, not enough big plays. Fields was unable to connect with Adonai Mitchell a pair of times there in the first half. And then defensively, the Jets were only able to get to Drake May once, and no takeaways. Only 14 points on the board for the Jets going into this mini bye before the game against Baltimore. They got to find a way to manufacture big plays on both sides of the ball, but they had a hell of an effort in defeat.
Thanks, EA. All right, let's get into our top storylines presented by HCL Tech. Q, what do you have for me? What was your top storyline?
Yeah, so Breece Hall's big day. I think it wasn't as big as he might have wanted to, but I think overall reaching 3,000 yards is an incredible feat for a running back. This guy is the top dual threat running back in the league, and he continues to show it week by week. He may not have gotten the passing yards today, but he really opened up the game for the Jets in the run game. He was able to get on the edge. He was making guys miss. This is one of those guys that you want to keep for a long time.
And you know what? Not for nothing, he had the most rush yards by any running back against that Patriots rush defense, who has been stout all season long. So that in and of itself, of course, the 3,000 yards is a very big feat, but that also was a feat in and of itself. All right, when we return on Jets Game Day, we'll be hearing from players and coaches after Thursday night's game in Foxborough. Top Storylines is presented by the official digital transformation partner of the New York Jets, HCL Tech. Supercharging progress. Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
When it comes to this game, give those guys a lot of credit. That is a well-coached team that has a quarterback that's playing really, really well, which we all knew. Defensively, they did a really good job. And we got to do a better job just across the board. There were a number of things within that game, and I'm just talking coaches and players, that we got to do a better job of. So we have this little mini break that we have. Obviously, we come back on Monday and we get to work, and we have an extra bonus day to get some work in. But, man, the one thing that really just sticks out is details and discipline. That was a box that we didn't check off today. And we have to look at those things, coaches and players alike, and do a better job there. So looking forward to getting back Monday, looking at this film, getting to Monday, getting to work, and getting ready to move on to our next game. Any questions?
You've looked, that first drive was, seemingly textbook.
Yeah.
That Tanner had scripted. But it seemed like there's the following drives in the first half, you got away from Justin running the ball a little bit. What was going on there?
Yeah, well, the thing is, we don't want to make a habit of our quarterbacks just continue to run because we can put them in harm's way. But the thing is, the plan was to get the ball, and I wanted to get it first, and I want the offense to get the ball first. And the reason why is when you look at how they operated, they've had 6 times their defense on the field. It was 3 touchdowns and 2 field goals. So I felt like if we get a fast start, that we'd be in a good position. And Justin ran the ball quite a bit. The thing is, man, we can't put Justin in a situation where he's a running back, and I think we all know that because we'll put him in harm's way. So, but he did a good job, and you're right. He did a good job on some of those runs. We just have to be very calculated on when we do those things.
You talk about details and discipline. Are you referring to penalties or is there something else?
Well, just across the board. I have very high standards for our team in general, and that's the one thing that we talk about quite a bit, and I will never go away from those standards. And the players know that, and they have bought into that, and they know that too. And when I say details and discipline, again, I'm not just talking about the players. I'm talking about us as coaches too. We have to make sure that we're on the same page, and we're doing the things that we have to do to help those guys. So this is not a one-way street where everything is on the players. Coaches are involved in that too.
The film, but how do you think Justin played overall?
Listen, there are some good things. There's some really good things. I thought he put some balls out there, and we got to have some guys that make some plays for him too. Obviously, I know for a fact that he's going to say there's some things that he could have done better. Again, we do have to watch the tape, but I thought there were some good things he did out there.
Justin, on the positive side, you guys ran the ball tonight against the #1 rush defense in the NFL. Kept you in the game. Is that something to build on?
For sure, most definitely. We preach being violent at the line of scrimmage and controlling the line of scrimmage. So, like you said, we had a good game on the ground.
A lot of new faces on your offense, obviously, with things changing. You hit John Mechie for a touchdown. A.D. Mitchell tonight makes his debut. I'm sure when you go back and watch the film, you're going to see you and he had multiple times in this game where you could have made a big play. Do you take something out of that you're that close to that part of it clicking as well?
Yeah, I mean, this week was his... he's been here for, a week and a half now, and we didn't have too many practices this week, so not really trying to make excuses, but just a little details. And, he's a talented player, a great worker, so I have no doubt that, we'll both clean it up. Of course, he wished he would have done better. I could have had some better throws for him, but like I said, we're just going to keep working and get on the same page for next week.
Thanks for the time. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
Don't go anywhere, because coming up on Jets Game Day, Quincy and Nunwa will be breaking down some film for us. Jets Game Day is presented by Audi. Visit your tri-state Audi dealer to get behind the wheel of yours today. Or visit AudiOffers.com for more information.
The Jets came to Dugal with a desire to upgrade the locker room aesthetic overall, with a specific goal of introducing a wow factor to the space.
When I think about the project we did for the locker room, I love that it's using cutting-edge technologies. I was just blown away by the final product in the end. What the Jets have built at Florham Park is truly world-class. I really believe it's one of the best training facilities in the NFL, and this just brought it up another notch.
The scale of the logo lighting fixture is rather large. I mean, you're talking about a plus or minus 2,000 pound lighting fixture, 520 some odd individual lights, 150 feet of LEDs.
The logo was built primarily out of aluminum with acrylic. It's built in 3 layers. That top layer has a halo lid aspect to it and a custom perforated aluminum face to allow light to shine through. The middle layer has a featured recessed aluminum band to it as an accent. The bottom layer, which has the Jets' primary logo, which has a unique feature in the border, is illuminated on both the sides and the face, and the logo itself is set off and halo lit and face lit, and it all creates quite an impact. The hallways are cladded with a custom textured wallpaper, which was designed specifically so that we can produce each wall as one piece to avoid any visible seams or overlaps. Inside the barbershop, there's a featured dimensional aluminum logo, which is also halo lit.
One of the main priorities for us is overall use of the space, and in particularly this is professional athletes, especially on a football scale. So guys walking around, a lot of pads, a lot of equipment operators, trainers, so we wanted to produce the overall concept of the Jets and still maintain one of safety and a low maintenance, free flow to come in and out.
I think the Jets, in everything they do from a business and operational standpoint, always tries to push the envelope, and I think the locker room initiative was no different. Instead of just being satisfied with a cool, impactful piece in the center of the locker room, we decided to completely rebrand and re-update the whole surroundings.
I think the locker room design reflects the Jets' quest to always move forward. And it is such a cutting edge look, and it is such a impressive feat for the players to come back. I only wish I could have seen the players when they walked in and see their reactions. And it's really about how much ownership cares about the players and the team to try to give them the best possible environment.
Welcome back to Jets Game Day presented by Audi. Now it's time for Inside the Numbers brought to you by the New York Lottery. Our first number is 14, as in the amount of plays the Jets offense ran in their opening drive, 11 of which on the ground, capped off with a Justin Fields rushing touchdown, the 23rd rushing touchdown of his career. Our next number is 22, as in John Mechie's 22-yard touchdown grab in the third quarter. Now, in his second game with the green and white, Mechie looks to capitalize on his increased opportunities. Jets fans, your lucky numbers are 14, 11, 23, 22, and 2. Now it's time for a film breakdown presented by Moody's. Quincy, what did you see from Thursday night's game?
Yeah, so this game, I think that first drive is one of the ones I really want to break down because it was a great job of just getting on the edges, right? They knew that they had the speed. The Patriots have a very stout defense, and it starts in the middle of the field. So they're doing a good job of using the speed that they had to get outside. I love this. Breece Hall grew up a Nebraska fan, and this is old school speed option. Getting out, see the edge, kick it out to your speed back, and let them get that first down for you. It's a great job, great game planning here. Then again, you got Justin Fields. He sees nobody open, so he takes the opportunity to get out on the edge, use his speed to pick up some tough yards. He continues to do this throughout the game. One thing I appreciated about Justin Fields today is that, okay, if nobody's open, he used his legs a lot better. He wasn't taking unnecessary sacks. It wasn't until the end of the game that those type of things happened. He was using his legs repeatedly. Again, out on the edge, good read, and then getting those tough yards. And this one here, instead of running the ball, now you have an opportunity to throw it with your newfound receiver in A.D. Mitchell. Good job running that slant, getting outside. And then here, this is a great job, speed, right? Speed kills. Justin Fields is even, and when he's even, he's leaving. He just has that type of speed.
You have so many good one-liners. I love it.
Man, football supplies them for me.
Awesome stuff, Q. When we return on Jets Game Day, we'll give our final thoughts looking ahead for the green and white. This film breakdown is brought to you by Moody's, proud partner of the New York Jets. Get 100% verified tickets to every upcoming game at Ticketmaster, the official ticket marketplace of the Jets and the NFL.
Quincy, what's your immediate reaction to this one? You were all over the field tonight. You had 8 tackles. And Aaron Glenn said you guys are going to be up for the fight, that you welcome it. And you brought it all night, but you were unable to get the win.
Yeah, the biggest thing, man, when you playing a team who they ain't gonna shy away from what they're doing, you just got to be consistent. So they showing us what they're gonna do. We got to have those moments where we've been consistently in our gap, because they're gonna continue running duo, continue running their stuff, continue running digs and stuff like that. So it's one of those things where who can be the most consistent at doing it. So, man, we might get 50 plays or just runs. You got to be able to stay in your gap, those all 50 plays. So it's kind of like one of those things. Then the penalties also, though, it's one of those things where you already have is create long drives and stuff like that. So then they can get in their bag and plays and stuff like that.
How difficult, you never make excuses, but how tough is it right now defensively that you guys are changing a lot of personnel back there because of injuries?
I'm not even going to say it's difficult. I'm also not going to use it as a excuse or anything. The biggest thing I tell those guys is, bro, it's an opportunity for, I ain't going to say next man up, but it's just an opportunity for the next guy that's in that role for you to show what you're capable of, for you to show what your style of play is.
Drake May, you guys got to him. You got to him once. What was he doing as far as eluding the pocket and maybe extending plays at times?
Really on time and for real. They had their favorite plays and their mindset and stuff, and they didn't shy away from those things. They were consistently until they made a play. So it's one of those things where we have to consistently do our job, be in the right positions, and then also play with good hands for the penalties and stuff like that. But most definitely just being consistent on our job.
I think just got to clean up the little things, find a way to win. Looks like we're damn good when we can stay on the field. And I think that's just what it is, just cleaning up little things.
It seemed like offensively you guys had a ton of success anytime you guys had production on first down.
I mean, if you look at stats, you could say that. I think when we just get in the flow of playing our game, when we get in a rhythm, the offense kind of just flows. And we saw it in a couple good drives, and now we kind of have to go build on that. Look at the drives where it didn't work out, see what happened, and then just try and, find that rhythm and play our game.
Speak about that rhythm you guys established early on that beautifully orchestrated first drive that culminated on the touchdown run from Justin Fields.
Yeah, I think it's just it starts with the run, of course. It starts up front, and then everything kind of builds off that, And I think that's all. It's a mindset, and that's just not the O-line blocking. That's the whole offense. That's kind of where it starts,
Take me through your first touchdown as a Jet.
I think they either blitzed or they were in man or some type of blitz, and I just ran my crossing route. The O-line blocked really well. Justin threw a good ball. I mean, the defender fell down, so I was wide open, but I think it was just everyone doing their part, and that's kind of one of those plays where, when everyone does their part, it's kind of like a handoff,
How good did that feel individually? Because you've only been here a couple weeks, and you're out there producing already.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to contribute to the team. I think the main thing is contribute to winning. The most important thing for us is winning. So although it was a good play, we got to figure out how to get more of those, and how to put points on the board every time we go on the field, because I believe we're really capable of that as an offense. We got to be able to get points every time we step on the field.
That was your locker room roundup presented by Dunkin'. The Jets run on Dunkin'. All right, Q, it is time to make your case. Without Garrett Wilson, he's on IR for at least 4 weeks. Who do you want to see on the Jets offense step up and fill that void?
It's got to be Mason Taylor. That's the guy right now. 4 catches for 30 yards, 4 targets. He made all the tough catches he needed to make. This is a guy you got to continue to put into this offense.
And he continues to show up week in and week out. I feel like whatever is asked of him, he's able to do. So definitely try and put more of the workload on him. I think it can't go wrong. All right, the combination of Justin Fields and Breece Hall on the ground produced 125 yards against the Patriots. How do they continue that strength of running the football?
Continue to do what you did, right? Having motions. I think they did a lot of motions in the last game, but also being multiple in your personnel groupings. Putting different guys out there, 6 offensive linemen, 3 tight ends, 4 receivers, whatever you need to do to make it confusing for the defense so you can go out there and attack them in multiple ways.
All right, let's get into our final thoughts, Q. The Jets have a little extra time with this mini bye, a full 10 days to prepare for their Week 12 matchup against the Baltimore Ravens. What do you want to see in Week 12?
I think the biggest thing is to shut down Lamar Jackson. If he's the starting quarterback, that's a mobile guy. That's a guy that can make all the plays with his legs, but also with his arms. So make sure you're finding a way to shut down Lamar Jackson.
All right, Q, great point. Just got to shut down Lamar Jackson. But don't worry, we're going to dive even deeper into this matchup against the Baltimore Ravens next week on Jets Game Day. Thanks so much for watching this episode. We'll see you guys next week.